we are all very excited about the upcoming 2022 Toyota Tundra. It should arrive this fall, and the details of that truck should be announced sometime in the next few months. I'm going to try to walk you through what the Tundra will have in terms of trims, in terms of spec, the type of models they're going to have. I'm pretty sure I can accurately predict what models Toyota will introduce for the 2022 Tundra. So I've got the current 2021 Tundra build sheet, or build and price they call it, page right in here in front of me, and I'm going to walk you through and tell you from my own automotive engineer's experience, my insights about the industry, and my knowledge about Toyota. I'm going to predict exactly what Toyota will introduce this fall in terms of the trim and the models. So this is sort of the part one of the further details I plan to give you about the new Tundra. Again, we're very excited about the new Tundra, but other than some scoop photos and rendering, we don't know too much about the configuration of this Tundra. So let me walk you through. So I've got the page open here. This is the Toyota USA site. Most of our viewers are from US, so I'm going to stay with the US spec. If you're a Canadian, please stay till the very end, and I'll point out the difference between the US and the Canadian spec. But let me start off by going through the US spec first. So again, we're looking at the 2021 Tundra build and price page, and I'm going to predict very accurately what Toyota will bring out to the marketplace come this fall as a 2022 Tundra. So I've got the entire lineup here, so let me walk you through the whole lineup first, and then I'll go into more details about each of the models. So for 2021 Tundra lineup, we've got everything from SR, SR5, which goes into TRD models as well, Limited, TRD Pro, Platinum, and then 1794 edition. Now 1794 edition is the an add-on to the Platinum model, so it's very much related to the Platinum. So these are all the lineup right now we have for 21 year. For the 22 year, which again should be introduced in the next few months for a delivery sometime end of this year, Q4 this year, I can tell you these things. My experience and my insight is telling me that Toyota will introduce the SR, SR5, the Limited, and possibly the Platinum, but not the TRD Pro and not the 1794 edition. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Even though the SR model, particularly in this configuration, is not a very popular model, I expect them to still offer the baseline here because it's what allows them to price competitively, because they can say the Tundra starts at, in this case, $34,155. So they always need a kind of base model to advertise the baseline pricing. So they will always have this, plus a commercial fleet, which isn't a big sales for Toyota in general, would likely use some of the lower end entry level models like the SR. So SR should carry on for 22. Definitely SR5, because that's the most popular model. This is the trim with the TRD Off-road and TRD Sport. So for sure, they're going to carry that onto the new model with SR5. They will for sure carry the Limited. Now there is some question whether the name Limited might change, but I don't think so, because the current Tacoma is still using that word as well, and there's no reason why they would change. Even though if you look at like a Toyota RAV4 or some of other lineup, they began to change the naming a little bit. But for Tundra, I expect them to carry the same Limited trim level. So this will stay. But if I point out the TRD Pro, they will not introduce a limited edition, low volume, specialized trim like the TRD Pro in the very first year. I know Toyota's marketing strategy almost inside out. And what they do is they hold off specialized trucks and cars until a couple of years later. And each year they want to introduce a new trim or new options that will bring people back to their market. So they will definitely not introduce TRD Pro in the first year. I expect them to introduce TRD Pro probably a year later, maybe even a year and a half, as a 2023. So this fall, as a 2022, they will introduce the whole Tundra lineup, and then approximately a year later, end of the calendar year 2022, as a 2023 model year, they should produce TRD Pro and bring that to marketplace. So that's about almost 2 years away from now on. So as I mentioned in my previous videos, if you are in love with TRD Pro, you might want to buy one now and snatch one now, because it's not going to come out for at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So that won't come out. I know that for sure. The Platinum should stay. Platinum is one level up from the Limited with additional features, with the competitors of Tundra all going very upscale along with the price. I cannot imagine Toyota removing or not offering Platinum. So I expect fully for Toyota to keep this model and offer Platinum in addition to Limited. Now here's a 17.4 edition, so let me scroll here a little bit more. The 1794 edition is an add-on to the Platinum. It's very similar to Platinum, except for the interior decoration and design and so forth. It is really about the same price as Platinum even. But 1794, while people like it a lot, is not a volume seller. It's a very, very small percentage compared to Limited and Platinum. So I do not expect them to carry 1794 edition, at least in the first year. They may offer something like a 1794, perhaps once the rest of the models are introduced. But in the first year, this fall, when the new model comes out, I do not expect them to have a 1794. So to summarize here, they will have a SR, SR5, Limited, Platinum, and that's it. No TRD Pro and no 1794 for the fall. That's what I predict, but my prediction will be very accurate. Now let me walk into the SR5 model here and give you more details about exactly which models they would continue to offer, because SR5 model lineup is the most important lineup. It's the highest volume seller in the Tundra lineup, and so let me walk you through here a little bit more in detail. Okay, so let me go into the details now. I'm going to go into the SR5 category because that's the most popular category, and this is the one that includes TRD Sport and TRD Off-road, two of the most important lineup for the Tundra. So let's go into here. So currently for 21 Tundra, they offer double cab with 6.5 foot standard bed, a longer 8.5 foot long bed. Both of these are double cab, and then the Crew Max, which is the model with 4 proper full-size doors. The Crew Max with a 5.5 foot short bed. So this Crew Max is the most popular trim level, but the double cab is also important because, again, particularly for commercial use or business use, people like to have the longer bed. And so these are very important. So I fully expect Toyota to have all 3 of these offered in the first year. So that's double cab with a 6.5 foot, a double cab with an 8 foot long bed, and then Crew Max with 5.5 foot short bed. Now the double cab with an 8 foot bed isn't very popular, so there is a possibility if they want to trim down the number of models to offer the first year of the new version, they might take this one out. But my suspicion and my insight tells me they'll keep all 3 models because the competitors from Ford and Dodge offer so many different configurations. The Tundra already offers way less configuration than the competitors. I can't imagine Toyota taking out even more variations. So I'm sure they're going to keep these 3. Now let's go with the Crew Max with 5.5 foot, because this is the most popular trim. And if you go into here right now, of course, it only comes with one engine, the 5.7 V8. As I mentioned in my previous videos, we are 90 to 95% sure that Toyota will cancel and discontinue the current V8 engine and replace it with a twin turbo V6 engine borrowed from the Lexus lineup. And the primary reason, of course, is for fuel efficiency. And then the backup evidence is that the two factories that produce the 5.7 liter V8 engine, one in Japan and one in Alabama, are both planning to phase out the V8 engine in the next couple of years. So they wouldn't offer V8 engine to the brand new Tundra, and then 2 years later stop offering it because the factory doesn't make it anymore. So again, almost with a 95% assurance, they will not bring the V8 engine into the 2022 lineup. So anyway, let's assume it's a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 that you select. I don't think they'll offer the hybrid. They will not, I can tell you, actually. They will not offer the hybrid right off the bat in the first year. So I think you will only have one engine option. And then it doesn't really matter what color you pick for now. But let's just assume, I guess I should comment about the colors. What would they offer for 2022? A bit harder to say, but you can guarantee the standard color will remain. So that's white, any form of silver or gray, so silver sky and the gray metallic will stay. The red isn't very popular, but I expect they will always offer a red color of some sort. So the Barcelona red will probably stay. Obviously, army green, very special color because it was the TRD Pro color in 2020. I think that will carry over. And then these darker gray, like the magnetic gray, will probably carry over as well. These are standard colors, obviously the black. The big question is some of these colors. Now, in this particular case, there is a Cavalry blue and also another blue here, Voodoo blue, that's offered in a couple of different versions of the Tundra. I don't think they will carry both blue. And right now, the Voodoo blue is slightly more popular than Cavalry blue, so I expect them to carry the Voodoo blue. Not sure about Cavalry blue. Okay, and there's also cement. So this is cement, by the way, and this color is a very popular color, so they will definitely carry that. The interior color will be very similar. They'll obviously offer a black, and both in terms of the fabric and leather, and some kind of graphite or gray will be most likely an option as well. The big question is the Lunar Rock color that's currently offered in the 2021 TRD Pro. Would they bring that down to the normal Tundra SR5 level and offer it along with the Army Green, which was also a TRD Pro color? We're not quite sure, but because the Lunar Rock is also offered in the RAV4, it's not necessarily a very special color, and it has been quite popular. So I expect the Lunar Rock will come down to the normal color listing here. And so in addition to Army Green, that's my prediction. Okay, so now let's move on beyond the color here onto the packages. So this is where it gets quite interesting. There's quite a few packages currently offered in the 21 Tundra. So there is a few simple packages like the upgrade package, the convenience extra value package. I think these naming and might change for 22, but they will continue to offer these lower end packaging because they're quite popular. And of course, the most important package is the TRD Off-road and the TRD Sport. So let me scroll back here. Guarantee 100% TRD Off-road and TRD Sport package will be offered with the new 22 Tundra right off the bat. And I can also, with 100% certainty, tell you that these Trail Special Edition models, regardless of which one you pick here, will not be offered with 22. And that's the reason why is the Trail Special Edition is new for this year, and oftentimes Toyota brings these special edition models toward the end of its life cycle to spice up the lineup and to give buyers a reason to come back to this particular model. So something like this, which was a special version of the Tundra with the extra value offered, I can guarantee this will not be offered the first year of the new Tundra. But of course, they will offer the TRD Off-road and TRD Sport. Now, if you look at the TRD Off-road, there's a few different options here. There's one for $38.85, and then there's one with more options here for $49.25. I believe they will offer, again, this two-tier system for TRD Off-road because not everyone wants all of the options that's offered in this package plus. Same thing with the TRD Sport. The TRD Sport package here, and there's also TRD Sport package with additional slight difference in option. It's a bit more confusing on the TRD Sport here because these two are very similar pricing, but one or two variation of the TRD Sport will definitely be offered with the 22 Tundra. So those are something that I can clarify, and then let's finally move on to the accessories section. So these are dealer added accessories. Some of it might come from a factory, but most of these are either installed at the dealership or installed at the port. We call it port installed accessories, and that means that when the Tundra is arriving at shipping locations, they will install it there. Now, obviously, the Tundra is produced in Texas factory, so it's within the continental USA. So there's no overship or ocean or freight shipping, but it does still arrive at a delivery site like the port location, and some of these options gets installed there. The rest, and in fact, most of these accessories though, are simply just offered at the dealership level, and they'll add it on when you are ready to pick up the truck. So obviously, the same accessories should be offered. That includes the all-weather floor mat. These will be offered for sure. The bed extender definitely is not super popular, but I expect that to be offered. The bed mat, which is popular again for both Tundra and Tacoma, for sure will be offered. This is a bed rug, bed liner. This is a very interesting rug type liner, which is actually an aftermarket item. It's not from Toyota. So whether Bedrock as a third-party manufacturer will offer this right off the bat, hard to say. So this one might come a little bit later. But bed step, definitely. Perhaps they will build into the new Tundra some form of a step, and maybe this will be eliminated. Otherwise, they will offer this for sure. Blackout emblems, blackout packages, I expect them to offer similar package for the 2022 Tundra. Step boards and running boards, for sure there will be a variety of different types offered. Usually they offer 2 to 3 different types, so I expect fully they will offer kind of standard step boards, standard running boards, and also the Predator type. Those should be offered for the new Tundra. Cargo divider will be offered for sure. Net extender, yes, definitely. And then these are of course just a simple aftermarket items like the cargo tote. So those are, I think, the main accessories. There's also a center console tray. So here's another running board here, a classic black running board. They will definitely offer this type of a simple running board. This is a very popular option. And then there's also a few deck rail, camera mount. Those kind of most likely will be offered as well. So seal protectors, yes. Door guards, yes. Emergency assistant kit is just a dealer item. And exhaust tip, I'm sure that'll be offered. And then there's a few other sort of a safety / alarm related items, which I also expect them to offer. Although these are not very popular, and so they may not offer that in the beginning. Paint protection film is a very profitable accessory, so they'll obviously offer that. Oh, here is the Predator step. It's kind of strange in this build and price system. They don't put all of the steps and running boards together in one section, but anyway, I do expect them to offer the Predator steps. Yeah, remote tailgate lock, I expect that to be a standard feature for the new model. They have to have some kind of a differentiation with the competitors, so maybe not on the lower end models, but on the higher end models, I expect this to be standard for sure. And some form of security system should be standard. So otherwise, same kind of thinking here. The bed liners, spray on bed liners should be standard on the limited, platinum, and down the road TRD Pro models that should be offered as an option on the other lower end entry levels. And is also tailgate insert that should be offered, and tonneau cover. Absolutely, that'll be offered right off the bat because that's a very important accessory for Tundra owners. And then these TRD Pro aluminum wheels, it wouldn't make sense to offer that in the beginning when the TRD Pro won't be available. But I fully expect Toyota to keep all of the same spec for the wheels, probably similar offset, obviously similar lug and bolt patterns. So your 2021 and earlier wheels that you might have purchased for the previous Tundra should fit the new 22 Tundra as well. I expect the specification for wheels and tire to be very similar. So that's pretty well all the accessory. There's some other TRD Pro type accessory here, like skid plate and oil cap. These likely won't be offered right off the bat. Same as the TRD Performance Dual Exhaust, it wouldn't be offered because I don't expect TRD Pro model to be offered in the beginning. So the rest is pretty simple here. Again, these are all TRD accessory. They won't be offered in the first year. So I should say TRD Pro accessory won't be offered the first year. So it'll be pretty interesting to see. That's all of the accessory. And I have a lot more to share with you in terms of what to expect interior wise, what kind of technology will be offered on the interior, potential tire size, potential tire spec. So those are further details I will continue to give in part 2 and 3, but this time I just wanted to focus on the specification, the basic configuration and type of models and trim levels they will offer. So that is my prediction for 2022 Tundra. It should be very accurate what I just presented to you, and you can look forward to having many different configurations still offered for 2022 other than the TRD Pro and possibly the 1794 edition. So those models along with some other trim levels likely to follow about a year later. So I hope this was helpful. A lot more to come on Tundra, and we're all excited and looking forward to the 2022 Tundra. So I will continue to share with you. Thank you for watching our channel, and please come back and I will continue to share my insight. Thank you so much. I'm signing off. Peace out. So let me walk you through the Canadian version of the 2022 Tundra packages that will likely be offered. So again, I'm looking at the 21 configurator, build and price, and I'm going to predict very accurately what Toyota Canada will offer this fall. So they will definitely offer the double cab models, both in off-road and the premium. I expect fully that those two models to carry forward into the new 2022 Tundra model. And then under the CrewMax SR5 here, currently they have the Trail, the TRD Off-road, TRD Off-road Premium, TRD Sport Premium, and TRD Pro. As I mentioned in the US section, they will, I can almost guarantee you that they will not offer the Trail or the TRD Pro in the first year. And that's because typically Toyota does not bring a specialized model like the TRD Pro in the first year. It's going to come out second year of the new generation. So it will come out in calendar year 2022 as a 23 model. So TRD Pro will come about 2 years later. The Trail won't come because Trail is a special limited version just for this year, and they sometimes add these kind of limited edition model toward the end of its life cycle to spice up the product and bring customer back to the lineup. And obviously they're not going to do that for the first year. So Trail won't be offered, TRD Pro won't be offered. They will definitely offer both the TRD Off-road and the TRD Sport. The question is, the Canadian spec is very strange. There's a TRD Off-road, there's TRD Off-road Premium, but the TRD Sport is only in Premium, and there is no kind of standard or base TRD Sport, which is a very strange way. I expect Toyota to simplify this, and it will likely be just TRD Off-road and TRD Sport to begin with, and then perhaps later in the year or the year later they will offer these premium packages, or they will just have the TRD Off-road Premium and TRD Sport Premium. I'm not quite convinced they're going to offer this many different variations in the first year. But
the TRD versions, the off-road and the sport, both will be offered. There's also the double cab long wheelbase version, which will likely be carried over to the new model as well. And they will definitely have the platinum here. So the platinum and the 1794 edition is currently offered in 21. I expect them to offer the platinum, but not the 1794. I don't think they will carry that. Now again, this is very confusing for the Canadian marketplace because last year they had the Tundra Limited and the Tundra Platinum, but this year they eliminated the last year and a half or so. They eliminated the Limited, and then instead the Sport Premium and Off-road Premium are the one that's offering the same feature as the previous Limited model. Not sure why they did that, because in the US they did make that change. But I suspect because so many people want the name TRD, they probably figured it's easier to sell a TRD with an added package than to try to sell Limited. Limited was always a very low volume seller. So perhaps they will carry that same system or thinking for the 2022 and offer off-road and sport and the platinum, but maybe not the Limited. So that one is a little hard to say. If I scroll down here, the choice of color is less for Canadian marketplace, but similar systems. So they still offer the black, the white, the red. Cement is very popular. They'll carry that for sure. And the silver sky. And depending on which model you pick, you can either get a Cavalry blue or Voodoo blue, but you cannot get both in most of these models. It's either one or the other. So if you pick a sport, TRD Sport, it's Voodoo blue. But if you pick an off-road, it's the Cavalry blue. So I don't think they will carry both blue for 2022. I suspect the Voodoo blue will drop off, and instead the Cavalry. I think the Cavalry blue will be actually dropped off, and the Voodoo blue will carry on. And you'll notice for Canadian market, we don't have the Army green for the Tundra. Maybe the Lunar Rock color from the current 21 Tundra TRD Pro will carry over to 22 as one of the standard colors. We'll have to wait and see, but I have a suspicion that will in fact take place. So that's the main difference with the Canadian market. Otherwise, the accessories are very similar. These accessories are identical to what I just explained in the US spec, and the pricing, of course, is all different from the US. But that's a big summary for the Canadian marketplace in terms of what to expect for 2022 Tundra. I hope this was helpful, and I will continue to share with you a lot more details about the 2022 Tundra in my further episodes. So thank you for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.